Hello, passionate Celtic supporters. We're back with another deep dive into the latest happenings at Celtic, and there's a lot to unpack as we head into what's shaping up to be a pivotal stretch of the season. First off, we've got a game lined up tomorrow night, an away trip to Motherwell, and following that, the big local derby on Saturday. It's a pair of matches that will test the team and Wilfried Nancy in very real ways. If he manages to guide the team to victories in both, it would certainly silence a lot of skeptics and cement his position as a manager capable of steering Celtic forward, deserving the full backing of the board in the January transfer window. On the other hand, a slip in either match would see the doubters grow louder, with criticisms mounting about tactics and defensive frailties. It's a tense period, no doubt, but it's also a moment to relish, a chance to see how the squad responds under pressure and whether they can rise to the occasion. Looking at the numbers, it's interesting to examine how Celtic has fared under the three different managers this season. Brendan Rodgers had 9 league games in charge before departing. Martin O'Neill oversaw 5. And Wilfried Nancy has taken the reins for 4 so far. When it comes to goals scored per match, Rodgers' team managed an average of just over 1 goal per game, which was noticeably low for a team of Celtic stature. That number jumped significantly under O'Neill to just under 2.5 goals per match. And under Nancy, it's been around 2.25 goals per game, showing a similar attacking output to O'Neill's stint, but a marked improvement on Rodgers' early season figures. On the other side of the pitch, goals conceded tell a more concerning story. Rodgers' team let in less than 1 goal per match on average. O'Neill's defence was rock solid, conceding only once in 5 games, whereas Nancy's side is giving up just under 2 goals per match. The criticism that Nancy's team is far too open defensively is valid, and many supporters are worried about whether such an approach can be sustained, especially against the league's stronger sides like Motherwell and Rangers. Diving deeper, expected goals, or XG, gives a slightly more nuanced view. While goals scored and conceded paint one picture, XG measures the quality of chances created and allowed, providing insight into how many goals a team could realistically be expected to score or concede based on their play. Under Rodgers, Celtic averaged just under 2 expected goals per match. O'Neill improved that to a little over 2, and Nancy's team is averaging just over 3, indicating a clear increase in the creation of high-quality chances. The XG against, reflecting the opportunities allowed to opponents, is only marginally higher under Nancy than O'Neill, despite the higher goals conceded. This suggests that some of the goals let in have been somewhat unlucky or down to exceptional finishing by opponents rather than a complete collapse in defensive organization. A couple of strikes like the goal from Montano were world-class finishes that perhaps weren't reflective of systemic defensive issues. When looking at XG difference, which is essentially chances created minus chances conceded, Nancy's team is clearly dominating more matches than under Rodgers or O'Neill. While O'Neill's record was impressive in terms of points, there were occasions where the team perhaps got away with it, scraping results without truly controlling the game. Nancy's side, on the other hand, is creating chances at a higher rate, suggesting that if the defense tightens slightly and the team gains more familiarity with the system, the results could very well improve. It's worth noting that Nancy has consistently expressed a desire for more control in matches, a methodical approach rather than chaotic play. Speaking after recent games, he's emphasized the need to better decide when to attack quickly versus when to hold possession and manage the tempo, which reflects a long-term plan for structured control rather than reckless attacking football. This controlled approach is often misunderstood by supporters who sometimes perceive the open play and one centre-back system with 9 outfield attackers as chaotic or reckless. In reality, Nancy's coaching philosophy is grounded in controlled possession, drawing opponents out and then exploiting spaces, a methodical style seen during his time at Montreal in Major League Soccer. Players often need time to adjust, particularly defenders who must unlearn instinctive habits of quick forward passes in favor of patient positional play, which can take weeks or even months to fully internalize across a squad. The early games under Nancy have shown glimpses of this philosophy, but also the learning curve required, with some individual errors contributing to goals conceded rather than a wholesale failure of the system. Take, for instance, some of the goals allowed against Livingston. Many of these stemmed from loose passes or positional errors rather than the system itself failing. The first goal came from a misdirected crossfield pass. The second from a brilliant finish by the opposition's exploiting a small defensive lapse. The setup itself, numerically speaking, was sufficient, but individual mistakes created openings. With time, as players adapt to Nancy's preferred positioning and decision-making framework, these types of errors should reduce. Yang and Ralston's positioning on certain defensive plays highlighted the adjustment needed for the squad to become fully comfortable with Nancy's tactical demands. It's early days, but the potential for improvement is clear, and patience will likely pay dividends as the season progresses. The upcoming Motherwell game presents a stern test. Motherwell have been one of the surprising sides this season, particularly strong at home, losing just once in 9 league matches and keeping a remarkable defensive record up until their recent defeat to Rangers. Breaking down their defence will be challenging, but Celtic's recent attacking form under Nancy shows that the team is capable of creating opportunities. If the midfield and defence can synchronise better, ensuring fewer errors and more controlled possession, Celtic has every chance to come through with a positive result. The derby that follows will add further intensity, but the squad has the tools and creativity to compete in both matches if the tactical discipline is applied consistently. Transfer considerations also hover in the background as the squad looks to strengthen in key areas. Rumours around Hibs' Josh Mulligan suggest potential additions that could fit into the right wing-back position, complementing Nancy's style. While immediate January signings may be limited, the planning and strategy behind potential summer targets indicate a focus on players who can integrate into Nancy's system effectively, particularly those capable of balancing offensive contribution with defensive responsibility. Players familiarizing themselves with the system now, combined with shrewd acquisitions in the near future, could set Celtic up for a more controlled, effective second half of the season. At this point, supporters might feel a mix of excitement and concern. The open play under Nancy has produced thrilling attacking football, but defensive vulnerabilities remain a talking point. However, understanding the context, the adjustment period, the tactical philosophy, and the individual learning curve provides a more balanced perspective. And rather than fearing that each match will become a high-scoring roller coaster, there is reason to believe that the team can achieve better balance and greater control. Historical examples, such as Nancy's Montreal side, demonstrate that defensive solidity can improve over time as the team gels and players internalize the manager's system. The early period may feel messy, but the underlying structure is there and the potential for growth is significant. Looking ahead to the immediate fixtures, Celtic has the chance to showcase both their attacking prowess and their ability to tighten defensively. Motherwell would present a stern test with their impressive home record and defensive discipline, but the attacking quality Celtic is generating under Nancy provides optimism. The team's XG statistics suggest they are consistently creating quality chances, and if defensive adjustments follow, the combination could result in a series of strong performances. Fans should look at the progression under Nancy, not just in terms of immediate results, but also through the lens of tactical evolution and adaptation, recognizing that the current period is one of learning, adjustment, and laying the groundwork for sustained success as the season unfolds. As we move deeper into the season, it's clear that Wilfried Nancy's influence on Celtic is becoming more evident, both in the way the team attacks and in the challenges they face defensively. The attacking play under Nancy has been exciting, dynamic, and more fluid than we saw under Brendan Rodgers or even Martin O'Neill. The players are being given more freedom to express themselves going forward, with an emphasis on quick transitions, intelligent movement off the ball, and exploiting spaces that open up when opponents commit men forward. It's a style that rewards creativity, but it also demands a high level of concentration and understanding from the defensive unit. Every error is magnified because the system leaves certain areas more exposed, which is why the mistakes in recent matches have drawn so much scrutiny. Yet, if you look beyond the surface, the potential is enormous. The XG data suggests that Celtic is generating high-quality opportunities consistently, and with a few tweaks in defensive positioning and decision-making, those opportunities could start translating into even more decisive victories. Tomorrow night's game at Motherwell is going to be fascinating because it represents a real test of Nancy's philosophy. Motherwell are tough to break down, disciplined defensively, and very hard to beat at home. They've managed a run of over 700 minutes without conceding before their recent loss to Rangers, which is a testament to their organisation and resilience. Celtic's challenge will be to combine their attacking creativity with defensive caution, ensuring that the open style doesn't leave them vulnerable to counterattacks. It's a delicate balance, but one that the team has been preparing for, and if they can get it right, it could set the tone for the next few months. The derby on Saturday adds another layer of pressure, as these local rivalries are never simple affairs. It's one thing to play with flair and freedom, but it's another to maintain composure and control when the stakes are as high as they'll be. Nancy has repeatedly stressed the importance of control and composure in matches. He doesn't want games to turn into end-to-end spectacles where every mistake is punished instantly. Instead, he's emphasizing patient, structured build-up play and measured attacking movements. Speaking after recent matches, he highlighted the need to better control the game, deciding when to push forward and when to manage possession carefully. This reflects a long-term vision, one that values methodical, intelligent football over chaotic rushes. Players are still adjusting to this system, especially those who joined during his tenure, and are learning how to interpret his instructions on the pitch. The learning curve is steep, but it's also an exciting process, and the early signs suggest that the squad is beginning to understand what's required to execute his style effectively. Defensively, there's room for improvement, no question. The mistakes against Livingston and other recent games were costly, but they often came down to individual errors rather than systemic failures. Misplaced passes, minor lapses in positioning, and miscommunications between defenders have allowed opponents to capitalize. For example, in certain goals conceded, the defensive numbers were actually sufficient. It was just the way players reacted in the moment that created openings. Over time, as players grow more familiar with Nancy's system and learn to anticipate each other's movements, these types of mistakes should reduce significantly. Familiarity and experience are key. The more the squad plays under Nancy, the more natural the system will feel, and the less likely small errors will turn into goals conceded. On the attacking side, Celtic has shown remarkable promise. The team is creating more chances per game than under any previous manager this season, and the fluidity of their play is increasingly difficult for opponents to predict. Movement off the ball, overlapping runs from wide players, and clever positional rotations in the midfield have created more scoring opportunities than in any other period this season. Players like Kieran Tierney, when firing on all cylinders, are capable of stretching defenses and opening spaces for teammates, and the front line is now more connected to the midfield than it was earlier in the season. The statistics show that even if the goals scored aren't dramatically higher than under O'Neill, the quality of the chances created is notably superior, suggesting that conversion rates might improve as confidence and familiarity with the system grow. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. In what could be the most startling transfer rumour to hit Scottish football this season, whispers are circulating that Celtic are on the verge of securing the signature of none other than Cucho Hernandez, the Colombian forward who's been turning heads across Europe. Sources close to the club suggest that the Hoops are eyeing the 24-year-old as their latest weapon in a bid to reignite their attacking prowess and send a clear message to the rest of the Premiership. Hernandez, known for his blistering pace, predatory instincts, and uncanny ability to find space where defenders think there is none, has been linked with a number of top-flight sides over the past year, yet few would have imagined the Hoops emerging as serious contenders. Insiders claim that the Celtic hierarchy sees in him the ideal foil for their current front line, someone capable of unsettling defenses with sheer unpredictability. It's said that the player himself has been intrigued by the prospect of a Scottish adventure drawn by the club's storied history and the passionate support that fills Celtic Park night after night. The speculation has sent fans into a frenzy, with social media abuzz over what Hernandez's arrival could mean for the Premiership. Some pundits are already predicting a seismic shift in the balance of power, suggesting that the Colombians' knack for scoring in crucial moments might be exactly what Celtic need to reclaim dominance both domestically and in Europe. Others caution that, while talent is undeniable, adapting to Scottish football is never a guaranteed ride, particularly given the league's physicality and frenetic pace. What is undeniable, however, is the excitement this rumour has generated. From the terraces to online fan forums, supporters are debating formations, potential strike partnerships, and how soon Hernandez could become the new terror of defences across Scotland. Celtic insiders remain tight-lipped, refusing to confirm anything. But the very fact that such chatter is circulating has reignited hope and speculation in equal measure. Whether this rumour will crystallise into a headline-grabbing transfer or remain a tantalising what-if, one thing is certain: the possibility of Cucho Hernandez donning the famous green and white hoops has Scottish football talking like never before. For now, fans are left dreaming of a forward who could change the tempo of games in the blink of an eye, a player whose mere presence might force defenders into mistakes and turn matches on their head. Hello, fan, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.